I absolutely hate health podcasts. Most of them. I've done more than 50 myself, learned so much about health, but in truth, in the modern day, especially on the Indian internet, you guys are getting confused because of all these health podcasts where information is dished out by people who aren't healthy to begin with. That was me at age 16. This is me through most of my 20s. Went through this whole journey, learned so much, eventually won a national award for content creation, won multiple YouTube play buttons. All my career success has begun with physical fitness as its base. This is going to be one of those videos that you turn back to in the long term for motivation as well as the most simple, most practical, most evergreen advice that you can possibly get from a fitness perspective. This is the only diet, exercise and mindset advice video that you need. We will be creating a much larger health series in the long term, but this particular video is the beginning of the rest of your life. Do not listen to multiple health podcasts and complicate the process of health. This may seem like basic advice, but this is honestly what you really need for a long-term healthy lifestyle that will fuel your career. Let's begin. Now, firstly, stay hydrated. Water is important even for your anti-aging process. When you go to urinate, ideally it should be light yellow or white. That's how straightforward the advice is when it comes to hydration.
We all are in air conditioner environment when we are sleeping, when we are working. So we naturally get dehydrated and a lot of our body, the systems get compromised. So 2 liters minimum is important for everyone depending on the kind of exercise they do and what is their weight. So it can range from 2 to 3.
Next, focus on your protein intake. Very basic, you know this already. These are your vegetarian protein sources, these are your non-vegetarian protein sources.
The ones who are taking less protein in their diet, more often than not, they are using their muscle mass sometimes as for their protein requirement. So they start losing muscle. Since muscle is lost, their metabolism drops. So when the metabolism drops, they also spending less calories. So that means their ideal calorie consumption becomes lower. So that is the problem with protein not being sufficient in your diet.
Next, focus on getting fiber in.
So the fibers are 2. One is soluble, insoluble. So insoluble fibers are making the bulk of your stool, which is very important. Soluble fibers are also important because they bring your bad cholesterol down. Now they play an important role because they give you the sense of satiety and they make your gut move smoothly. So, and these two, both the things are extremely important for your not only your gut, also the satiety factor, so you eat lesser food. We've covered the basics of protein, we've covered the basics of fiber. This is pretty much what my diet is all about. Lots of protein, lots of fiber. I personally try avoiding carbohydrates. That's not very practical because most of us have grown up eating a lot of grains, anaj, rice, wheat, etc. Keep in mind, when you go to a dietitian and you pay them to receive a diet plan, a good dietitian will first ask you to do a blood report. And based on your deficiencies and your weaknesses in your blood report, they'll craft out a detailed diet plan. I definitely feel everyone should go to a dietitian at some point in their life. But in saying that, if you're waiting to go to a dietitian in order to receive a diet, I don't think that's right either. You don't need to receive a diet from someone to begin your fat loss journey. You need to polish up your knowledge about the basics and then follow through with the basics in your daily life. If you can, stick to protein and fiber. You'll see your body change in the long term. But if carbohydrates are a central theme in your life, this next chapter will guide you better. It's not easy to eat clean. There's a part of your brain called the anterior cingulate cortex. It's like a muscle that gets worked every time you do something that your soul doesn't really want to do. So if your soul is telling you not to work out, but you still push yourself to work out, your anterior cingulate cortex is getting worked. A strong anterior cingulate cortex leads to you being able to push yourself harder in your career, because there's going to be many career days where you don't really feel like working, but putting in that extra hard work can put you ahead of the other people in your industry. That's effectively what careers boil down to, right?
Which is why I say that fitness is a base for a fantastic career as well. A great way to work your anterior cingulate cortex is trying to eat as boring as is possible. That's not practical. The truth is that you're going to end up having cravings. So the practical piece of advice is that try not to keep sodas or soft drinks at home. Try not to keep snacks at home. Try not to keep desserts at home. And ideally, until the weekend, try to uninstall all your food delivery apps. Even if you're going out to your office, as far as possible, try eating home cooked food. Focus on the basics. You need protein, you need fiber, and when it comes to carbohydrates, that is going to be a part of the next chapter. Man, carbohydrates, there's high GI carbohydrates, there's low GI carbohydrates. The quicker a carb gets absorbed into your bloodstream, the higher it is when it comes to glycemic index.
So GI means glycemic index. So there are certain food which are high in glycemic index, causes immediate sugar release in your blood, and certain food which has low glycemic index. Food which are very high in glycemic index would be any food which is less in fat, like fruits. Most of the fruits are very high in glycemic index, but of course there are certain fruits are very low, which is apple, pear, pomegranate, guava, etc. In vegetables, again we have potato, arbi, suran, jackfruit having higher glycemic index, and other vegetables are lower. But of course desserts have very high glycemic index, then rice has high glycemic index. So we need to understand how to combine them with a meal so that your sugar response is low.
Ideally, you don't want to have too many of the high GI carbs. So you want to keep sugar minimum. You want to keep maida or flour minimum. You want to eat more whole wheat. You want to eat more unpolished rice. You want to eat more millets. Carbs that are slightly difficult for your body to absorb. Cheat meals. I love food. That's a practical aspect of staying fit in the long term, my friend. You gotta limit yourself when it comes to eating outside of ghar ka khana. The fat content is less in home food. The quality of fats used is better. If you can, try having your cheat meals at home. I know that's not possible. Restaurants are just fantastic these days. Limit yourself to restaurant visits thrice a week if you're a beginner. If you're an intermediate, limit it to twice a week. If you're an advanced fitness person, limit yourself to once a week. And if you really want to take it to the next level, I'd say once in 2 weeks, or just eat home food, man. Next point, moving on. When it comes to dessert, I have a controversial opinion, and my personal advice, just as a friend, is that if you think you have a sweet tooth, the sweet tooth dies when you stay off of sugar for about 40 days. Covered this back in the day in 2015. The challenge was called BB40, where we said that 40 days of staying off anything sweet. So no fruit, no sugar, no good, no honey, nothing sweet on your tongue. That can actually get rid of your sweet tooth, and then you can return to having sugar just a little bit, but you won't crave sugar that intensely.
So, the biggest addiction in today's world, you might think alcohol, cigarette smoking, but is actually sugar. So sugar is the biggest addiction and is the core of every disease in today's world.
Truly believe that in the modern day, it's okay to be kind of unfit. It's okay to be kind of overweight. It's okay to have a slightly high fat percent, but if you're pre-diabetic.
So the symptoms of pre-diabetes is never high sugar. You will start putting on weight on your belly. You will, some of the ladies also see weight putting on the arms. Then you start having pigmentation, which in the fold of your body, like underarms and groin area and the back of the neck. So you'll see pigmentation happening. Then ultimately comes on the face and the forehead and the sides. So that is also another sign. You typically lose hair from here. You also start developing warts. Like you might have mustache here and there, and or maybe on the face and other parts of the body. These are the subtle signs of pre-diabetic condition, and working on this condition preventively will not only help you to prevent weight gain, okay, but also prevent every disease coming your way.
It's going to lead to a lot of problems in the long term. You're going to see so much physical pain if you don't change your lifestyle today. You're trying to create a really difficult future for yourself. You're going to create problems for your family. You're going to create problems for your mental health, and you're going to create problems for your career as well. Focus on your physical health first. Fix your physical health. Go back to your career. remember that true power lies in saying no to yourself occasionally. It's simple. You know you've got to exercise. Might as well choose something you enjoy. Weight training is not for everyone. But in saying that, you have to focus on building strength in the long term, because a lack of strength leads to weaker muscles, leads to atrophy as you age. Your muscles disintegrate as you age. And this leads to a lot of injuries, a lot of lifestyle diseases in the long term. So you'll have to do some form of strength training. Weight training is fantastic because it's great for the aesthetics of your body. If that's not your vibe, go for calisthenics. Go for a very good advanced power yoga class, vinyasa, where you're using the power of your own body to get stronger, where you're using the weight of your own body to actually build inner strength. Next point, along with strength, and this is my greatest fitness regret, do not ignore flexibility. This is not a narrative that you hear a lot in the strength world, in the gym world, but man, since I've started doing my yoga at the age of 30, it's been game changing for my body. Go start now. Whether you're a teenager, whether you're in your early 20s, for me, my skin, my hair, my aging process, my organ health, my sleep, everything's improved since I've started focusing on my flexibility as well. Personally, I do yoga. That's what I recommend to everyone because it's also got some metaphysical benefits that we'll speak about in another video. But flexibility is one of those long-term body skills that you need for better longevity. Moving on. Bit of brutal advice. Delete the friends that discourage fitness. Add the friends that encourage you to stay fit. It's as simple as that. I was recently hanging out with a few guys who are not really serious about their fitness, eat whatever they want, completely out of shape. And they were talking about Brian Johnson, the longevity guru. And they said that what kind of life is that? How's he having fun? How's he enjoying life? And I wanted to say so much, but I held back. But what I really want to tell them was, hey man, enjoyment is very subjective to a human being. What Brian enjoys, maybe it's not something you enjoy, but I promise you, he won't enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you are living. Therefore, it's very important to surround yourself with people who are fitness oriented. Almost every single friend of mine at this stage of my life is very, very, very driven about their health. And I promise you, all of these people have achieved career success and they're going to achieve more career success because in today's day and age, I think that your savings are at the same level of importance as your health. A disciplined body and a disciplined mind is a weapon for your career and for the rest of your life. Be the kind of human being that your children are proud to look up to. Moving on. Do not make excuses like, I don't have the time to stay fit. It's about priorities. The busiest people that I know are some of the fittest people that I know because they prioritize that over anything else. And often, the people who say that they don't have time for a health regime are also people who will tell you this as they enjoy coffee alongside you in a restaurant. No one is too busy when it comes to health. You know you're lying to yourself. We live in an age where you can order dumbbells from the same food delivery apps that you order food from. We live in an age where you can utilize YouTube for the sake of thousands of free of cost workouts. We have Instagram and short content there to motivate you in your phases of a lack of motivation. Which brings me to my next chapter. Please unfollow accounts that encourage you to eat junk and live a shit lifestyle and follow the accounts that encourage you to clean up your life. Every human being has a point in their life where they let go of the child inside and they gravitate towards the adult that they dreamt of becoming. That in the modern day will happen because of your short content, because the short content that all of us are consuming like cigarettes is affecting our dopamine systems. All of our attention spans are getting pretty wrecked. Therefore, one of the great ways of approaching short content consumption is ensuring that the short content is actually benefiting your health. And trust me, by going on those 3 dots, clicking on not interested, you'll actually get shown lesser reels that take away your motivation. And when you interact and share the reels that increase your motivation, you'll be shown more of that content. And you can literally use your social media to wire your subconscious mind to want to become fitter. Moving on. Supplements. The only supplement you really need is protein shakes, and that's also if you're primarily vegetarian.
Of course, there's supplements always, sometimes people speak for it or against it. So I believe that supplements are like, you take any equipment like your laptop, your phone, everything has insurance, right? Everything has a backup also. So supplements are your backup.
You can live your entire life without supplementing too much. And in saying that, the dietitians I've spoken to have said that universally, especially in India, most people are dealing with B12 and D3 deficiencies. So later on in life, you'll probably have to supplement with B12 and D3. But for now, know that you don't really need a supplement. And in saying that, if you lift weights, if you have a very athletic lifestyle, if you're exerting yourself a lot, protein shakes never hurt. You've got to figure whether whey protein suits your gut or plant protein suits your gut. It's different for different people. If you get pimples because of either, that means that protein is irritating your gut. The only other supplement that's researched upon immensely that you need to be educated about before using is creatine. Read up about it. Go back to our 2016 videos on creatine. We've actually covered so many fitness topics from back in the day. We'll link our playlist down below. But yeah, that's the other supplement that I would probably recommend if you have an athletic lifestyle and if you're serious about building strength, stamina, mobility, and athleticism overall. As a 32-year-old male, I have realized that if you have a fit lifestyle, it usually means you're challenging your physical body immensely. Wherever there's challenge, there's going to be injuries. You need to find yourself a fantastic sports physio. A doctor is meant to operate on your body when it's broken, but physios are trained to help heal your body when you've gotten injured because of a sport. And weight training, even yoga, can be counted as sports. Very, very important life skill. You know how they say that find a good CA, find a good lawyer. I think it's very important to find a good sports physiotherapist as well. From the world of physiotherapy, please focus on your posture from your early 20s. Postural defects like droopy shoulders or text neck, which has become really common with Gen Z for whatever reason. That needs to be solved very early on, because that one little postural defect can lead to 20 other defects. Go to a good quality sports physio and fix your posture pretty early on. I guarantee you, if you're trying to fix your posture, they'll also fix your core strength.
But the most common one, I call it the Pushpa pose, because most of us have one shoulder down, one shoulder up, one shoulder forward, one shoulder down. So I am assuming this is from sitting on the sofa or watching TV or looking at the phone like that. But since 2022, this is a very common posture. So everyone has an issue with the lower back. Everyone has an issue with this psoas muscle. Everyone has an issue with the hip flexors. And the most common culprit is you sitting like this on the bed and working here and then going down, and then everything goes for a toss. Another one is, of course, the text neck, because you are constantly in work mode. And this usually is because of the way you are sitting here. So what people don't understand is, if I'm sitting on a lower chair and I'm sitting like this, you see what happens to my posture? You're talking about fat gain, fat loss and aesthetics. Look at my aesthetics, no? I look like 2 months pregnant. But the moment I start, instead of sitting on my tailbone, to probably sit on my hip bone, you see what happens is my spine is easily stabilized. All the weight is gone from my spine into my hips, down into the ground. My neck is better, my back is better, and everything is good.
Lots of people my age in the early 30s are dealing with neck trouble, back trouble, shoulder trouble, out of the blue, even the fit ones. And all of them wish that they corrected their posture early on. That was the video for today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. We purposely tried keeping it very, very simple and basic, because in truth, if it's fat loss that you want, if it's muscle building that you want, these are the rules that you follow. A slight variation of this comes into place after you've presented your blood reports to a dietitian. But my point is, do not wait to receive a diet plan or an exercise plan and only then begin your fitness journey. Remember, it's up to you. You decide. It's either one day or day one. Now, I know that this video was a little surface level. In the future, in this series that we're starting on health, we're going to go deeper into health related topics. So I'd love some feedback on this video and some guidance based on what you all would like to see next. Old school BeerBiceps is back to fulfill the original mission of creating lots of high value health and longevity content. Lots of love. Thank you for listening in. Make sure to comment down below. I want to help this community grow, especially when it comes to health. But we're also going to cover a lot of different topics in this new phase of BeerBiceps. Thank you so much. We'll be back very, very soon.